Good day, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So today we have an article from Gizmodo.com, The Lightsabers of Star Wars, ranked. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps it a lot. Now let's get into this. When you think of Star Wars, you think of lightsabers. Sure, you think of spaceships and the Force and stuff like that too, but in terms of iconic visuals, few things in science fiction at large, let alone Star Wars, are as iconic as the lightsaber. And over the years, there have been a lot of lightsabers. Some of you know very well, others you may not. And we decided to rank as many as we could remember. Check out the video above for pullouts of some of the most particular designs and see our full ranking below. Also note, just by being a lightsaber is inherently amazing. So even the bad ones here are still pretty great. Don't yell at us. Anyways, ready for the ranks? Let's do this. Number 1, Darth Maul, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. From 1977 until 1998, we all thought lightsabers were one thing. Then a trailer for a movie was released. A second blade popped out of Darth Maul's lightsaber, and the weapon was changed forever. That historical reveal helps put that saber at number 1 on the list, but its sleek, simple, iconic look, and frankly, the fact that it disappears so quickly helps as well. Number 2, Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. After losing his father's saber in Bespin, Luke built himself this one. The now Jedi Knight opted for a green blade, the first we've seen in Star Wars. Its construction is a little wider at the bottom before getting skinny again, and then gets wider at the top. It's almost as if the saber itself is building up to something special. Number 3, Darth Vader's first lightsaber. Did you know that Darth Vader's first lightsaber wasn't the one he used in the original movies? As part of a Sith initiation rite, seen in Charles Soule and the Darth Vader comic series, Palpatine tasks Vader with finding a kyber crystal to corrupt from its base color into the blood red associated with the dark side. To do that, he needs to hunt down one of the few remaining Jedi and kill them. He does so to poor survivor of Order 66 named Carrick Infilia. After the tragic process is complete, Vader keeps Infilia's intricate hilt for a while, until it's destroyed on a mission and he simply replaces it with the iconic hilt seen in the movies. But just look at it. It was stunningly gorgeous. That is pretty cool. Number 4, Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Few Jedi were as suave as Qui-Gon Jinn and his lightsaber, with its striking black ridges from top to bottom. Really felt that way too. It looks like a lightsaber put on a tuxedo. Number 5, Count Dooku in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Much like Darth Maul's lightsaber changed our perception of the weapon, so too did Count Dooku's elegant curved lightsaber. An extended mitre on the end made it look more like a piece of jewelry than a weapon. Yeah, I really like Count Dooku's, that's for sure. Number 6, the Grand Inquisitor, Star Wars Rebels. This was a Swiss Army knife of lightsabers. It can be used as a traditional one-bladed saber. You can ignite the both sides and use it as a two-bladed saber. You can make those two blades spin, and when spinning, you could not only inflict damage or block blaster fire, but apparently float if needed. What a saber. Yeah, the whole flying thing kind of when they did that in Rebels, but it is pretty cool when it spins. Number 7, Darth Vader in Star Wars. You know how they say a coat of paint can make anything look new? That's what Darth Sabers is. It's basically just Anakin's old lightsaber with black highlights, but hot damn does it look much more intimidating and impressive. It really does look pretty awesome. Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. The lightsaber Obi-Wan Kenobi had in his days as a Jedi Master looks very much like the one that Luke Skywalker built for himself when he attained the same rank. So it's very cool that with the same anticipatory feeling, but Obi-Wan's just feels a little less evolved. We don't really get to see up close here, but I'm sure you all remember from episode 3 what his looked like. Number 9, Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars. Like her master Dooku, Ventress had a penchant for curved lightsabers. Unlike Dooku, Ventress went one step further and had a pair of curved hilts. As if that wasn't enough, even though she mostly dual-wielded them, Ventress could actually combine her weapons into a double-bladed lightsaber, made for more swanky than most other double sabers we've seen in Star Wars by curved hilts. Needlessly extra? Sure. Very cool? Absolutely. That's Asajj Ventress for you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Number 10. The Cursed Sabers of Darth Atris. The ancient Sith Lord actually left unseen in Star Wars, but we see their lightsabers and their fearsome effect in Marvel's Star Wars Annual No. 4 by Cullen Bunn. Similar in design to crossguard lightsaber built by Kylo Ren, itself based on lightsaber designs from the Old Republic era, what made Atris's twin sabers really stand out was the fact that they were cursed. Atris' Sith hate was so powerful, it imbued his weapon with dark side energy that, even thousands of years after his death, could dominate anyone who came in contact with the blades and send them into a violent rage, feeding the weapon's power. Not even Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader could resist. Number 11. The Darksaber. This weapon may not look like a lightsaber as we know it, but it was. The blade was made by Mandalorian Tar Vizsla, the first of his species to be inducted into the Jedi Order. Looking more like a traditional sword than most lightsabers, even with its crackling black energy blade, Vizsla's family eventually liberated the weapon from the Jedi Order after Tara's death, passing it down through generations as a symbol of leadership. Jocasta Nu's lightsaber rifle. Most Jedi don't really care for blasters, but that didn't stop this particularly bonkers use of a lightsaber from existing, as it did in the Darth Vader comic. A special weapon secreted away in a secluded part of the Jedi archives by none other than the former librarian Jocasta Nu. The rifle was actually more of an accessory. You loaded a lightsaber into its frame, and it then turned the kyber energy into powerful blaster bolts. It only took a few rounds before the lightsaber was melted into slag. However, so incredibly impractical, but very cool and very silly. You ever see that in the Vader's comic? Putting a saber in a blaster and a rifle until it melted. Aw, that's kind of a poor use. That lightsaber sucks now. Alright, let's move on. Number 13, Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Rebels. By the time of Rebels, Ahsoka had cast aside her former Jedi title, and the years since leaving the Order actually replaced her lightsabers with a pair of much fancier blades. Intricately designed compared to her original set, with delicately curved hilts and an influence of real-world Japanese design to go with her roaming Ronin status, what really made them stand out was their pure white blades. Uncolored kyber crystals were extremely rare, but Ahsoka made hers by purifying 2 kyber crystals that had been previously corrupted by an Imperial Inquisitor, changing them from blood red to pure white. Her sabers are pretty awesome. Number 14, Kylo Ren in Star Wars The Force Awakens. With the Jedi and Sith all but gone, young Ben Solo took it upon himself to construct a very unique lightsaber. And, without much formal direction, the result was almost incomplete. Mean-looking piece of weaponry with 2 short hilt blades to help the main one. Do you guys like the Kylo Ren saber? I never really got into it, really. I mean, Kylo looks cool when he turns it on, but it looks impractical in a lot of ways as for a lightsaber. I don't know. Anyways, 15. Darth Maul in Star Wars Rebels. By the time of Rebels, Maul's original lightsaber was long destroyed, even after it was lopped off in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace. Befitting his crafty outcast state, the saber he replaced with is briefly glimpsed in the Solo cameo. It is battered and scrappy, just like the Sith survivor himself, featuring what looked like carved scrap from a spinning lightsaber from Imperial Inquisitors. Maul's second lightsaber could also be disguised as a cane, as he used it while deceiving Ezra Bridger when they first encountered each other on Malachor. Number 16. Pon Krell in the Clone Wars. This four-armed clone-hating asshole of a Jedi, spoilers, he ended up being a secret traitor working for the Separatists, wielded two double-bladed lightsabers, thanks to his extra limbs. What made them stand out next to Darth Maul's, however, was that Krell's actually had a nifty foldable function for when he wasn't using them. Points for practicality, even if he loses points for being a massive jerk overall. Yeah, see how it actually folds in? It's pretty awesome, actually. 17. The Jedi Temple Guards lightsaber pikes. The Ordnate Order of the Elite Jedi Guards need an ornate lightsaber to stand out, and they got it with the lightsaber pike, a weapon that could be utilized as essentially a spear-like weapon with a lightsaber on one end. The lightsaber pike egloned hilt was actually another variation on the double-bladed lightsaber. If push came to shove, a Temple Guard could ignite the other blade in the pike's bottom half. So yeah, pike lightsabers were pretty sweet. Number 18. Young Obi-Wan in the prequels and Clone Wars. Obi-Wan had two lightsabers before we saw the one in The New Hope. They are not exactly the same, but look similar enough that we're going to bundle them up as well. The sabers each look very much inspired by the sleek tuxedo saber of his master Qui-Gon Jinn, but with wide ball on one end, and the ball brings the whole thing down. I guess they don't like the ball in the end of his saber. I actually like the top part though. Number 19. Anakin, Luke, and Rey in Star Wars. And yes, I call it Anakin's lightsaber, not Rey's. The first lightsaber we saw in Star Wars also happens to be the most significant, as it's one of the few still prominent in the film series. And yet, as crucial as this saber is, and because it's the one that made us fall in love with lightsabers, it's just been overshadowed in style in the years since. It's just rather simple, sleek, but vanilla. Number 20. Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars. Ahsoka's original lightsaber set, one standard, one Shoto style, shortened to be utilized with her dual-wielding style, as seen in the Clone Wars animated series, are much more like the young Jedi herself, practical, stylish, and more than capable of slicing through battle droid after battle droid. They're simple, as befitting a Padawan's first weapon, but Ahsoka makes great use of them in the front lines of the Clone Wars. 21. Tera Sinube's lightsaber cane. A Jedi must always have a lightsaber, even as they grow older, as Tera Sinube, a crusty old Jedi who specialized in detective work with the Coruscant security forces, decided to make his lightsaber infinitely more practical by turning it into a cane too. Sinube's blade is hidden inside the hilt of his expressively designed walking stick, which means he can disguise that he's armed and ready to fight, even in an advanced age, at any time. See, that's what I want when I get older. I want a cane that turns into a lightsaber. Yoda in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. If Anakin Rey's saber was half the size, it would be Yoda's saber. And it has the same issue. It's cool, but just so average, especially when all the other Jedi who aren't as powerful as Yoda have ones that are more intricate. It's true. His does look a lot like Anakin's, just a lot smaller. 23. This is one of my favorites too. Ezra Bridger, Star Wars Rebels. Ezra Bridger's saber suffers because it doesn't have its own identity. At first, it's doubled as a blaster, which is cool, but made it look like a staple gun. And by the time he ditched that for just the saber, it looked like a screwdriver than a sword. I still think it was pretty awesome. 24. Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels. Is that a satellite dish on your hip, or are you just happy to see us, Kanan? It was more practical for the character. He had to hide the fact that he was a Jedi, but detaching in the middle makes it feel more like a toy and less than a saber. And 25. Mace Windu in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Samuel L. Jackson famously picked his own lightsaber when making Star Wars, and we think he chose poorly. Windu's saber is too bright and gaudy, and the purple blade simply does not make sense for the character. Windu personifies the idea of Jedi sticking to order over everything, which ultimately leads to their demise. And yet, he's the only one at this point with a purple saber? I'm going to have to disagree with them on this one. I think the purple blade matches him good. Just because, he's in the middle, in a lot of ways. And he has to play around with his dark side too. Which is why he has Vapad. Or Vapad. Whatever you can pronounce that. And 26. Darth Sidious in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Do we need to say more? You're going to make us say it. Are you sure? Fine. It looks like a dildo. Well, I guess the way you put it up like that, it certainly does. So what do you think about these sabers? What is your favorite saber? Whether it's on the list or not. Let me know in the comments, because mine would have to be Luke Skywalker's in Return of the Jedi. That's the one I fell in love with. If I had to pick another one, it would probably be probably Ezra Bridger's. I like the shooting aspect and being a lightsaber, so I really like that one. But I've always liked Obi-Wan's also. So I guess I have a few that I really, really like. So let me know what yours is in the comments below. Alright, and as always, take care and have an awesome day.